life story writers. My name is Denise Roessle, and I'm here to talk to you about doing memoirs right as part of the very first Doing Life Right teleconference. I love this quote from Anne Lamott, a renowned memoirist. You own everything that happened to you. Tell your stories. Whether you're hoping to get published or writing for personal reasons, if you've been thinking about telling your stories, I encourage you to begin. First, a definition of memoirs versus memoir. Your memoirs, plural, are the story of your entire life so far. Presidents, celebrities, and captains of industry like Steve Jobs often write theirs. A memoir, singular, focuses on a specific and especially meaningful part of your life. Perhaps your childhood, your marriage or raising your children, a fascinating career, or dealing with the illness or death of a loved one. In the case of my memoir, Second Chance Mother, my story focuses on surrendering my only child for adoption when I was an unwed teen, reuniting with him 25 years later, and the rocky road we faced once we reunited. Why write your life stories? There are lots of good reasons. You may have an important story to share. Your story might help others in a similar situation. You may find that writing provides self-discovery and healing. Or perhaps you wish to record your stories for your family and future generations. So, how do you get started? First, decide on the time frame, where to begin and end. Then, what events and personal experiences will you focus on? In other words, what happened and how? Who are the main characters? You, of course, your family, friends, and others in your life. Think about the historical setting. Who was president? Does it take place during a war? What were the popular songs? Who won the World Series? Anything that will ground your story in a particular era. You may want to make some lists or write a few sentences about each of these. Along the way, you might experience some fears related to telling your truth. We all have an inner critic. You know, those voices that say things like, what makes you think you can do this? Or, why are you wasting your time? Then there's the usual writer angst. Does my story really matter? Is my writing good enough? Will anyone publish it? And if they do, will anyone read it? When you're writing a personal story, especially one that reveals long-buried secrets, there can be a whole extra layer of fear. Will my family be upset? Will they disown me? Am I revealing too much about myself? What if people don't believe me, think I'm whining or seeking sympathy? Perhaps the worst one is having to relive the actual experiences, especially the painful ones, while writing about them. Instead of trying to work around these fears, I suggest confronting them. Write a letter to your inner critic, or to the person you expect to be upset. Tell them why you're going to keep writing, that your stories belong to you, and you know you can do it. Anne Lamott also said, if people wanted you to write warmly about them, they should have behaved better. Finally, here are a few writing prompts that can help you get started. Write about some of your most pleasant memories, your happiest birthday, your favorite pet, a time when you were proud of something you accomplished, or someone who had a positive influence on your life. Think of an event of historical or cultural importance. For example, John F. Kennedy's assassination, 9/11, the first moon landing, or a record-breaking sports game. Write about how you witnessed or heard about the event and how it affected you. Or while looking at a photo of someone who is in your story, write a description of them, both their physical and personality traits. I suggest writing these out by hand rather than typing because of the heart-hand connection that allows us to delve deeper into our creative side. If you record them in a journal, you can refer back to these and other pieces as your story develops. You'll find these and more writing prompts on my website, secondchancemother.com. under the resources link. And I will also be talking about them in a blog post soon at write-o-holic.blogspot.com. Thank you for tuning in, and happy writing.